Is this thing on?
We stuttered. Did you catch it?
Yeah, I don't know. What's
Must be
going on
that
in this
band
crazy
that we've
world.
Who knows? Evil
We're not
Steve.
talking. We're not talking about it. Okay. We're not talking about it.
Don't say the word.
Welcome to this week's UCR Live, streaming live through YouTube today. Having a bit of a situation in our relationship.
We're not
with
talking
Facebook.
about it.
We're not. No, but I'm just letting people know that we will return. We're just on a little hiatus from Facebook at the moment.
Facebook and us, we're having some relationship troubles right now.
We are on a break.
Yeah.
We are on a break. That's okay. That's okay.
It's not a Marjorie Taylor Greene sitch. We're still together. We're just
we will fight for our right to continue to, upset everyone. I can't believe it's taken this long. But anyway, this is how we roll.
I'm just surprised it wasn't my fault.
No, as always, Vera, if anything goes wrong, it's usually my fault. It's okay.
But I mean, we've had Madison on this show too. Like, that should have got us cancelled straight away. I remember when she was on the lives and she was going on with some crap. Yeah, she should have got us cancelled.
I don't know.
I
see the people that I see. That's all I know. I see my beautiful friends surrounding me. Miss Christina, she cannot be tamed. She's back again. She's living the life. How are you today, gorgeous? What's going on?
Nothing, man. I'm having a shit week. I've been thinking about joining like OnlyFans or like selling a fucking body part at this point because I am so fucking broke. You guys are talking about traveling and I don't.
Oh, girl, we're broke too. We are broke too. It's all good. Oh, she's gone.
Oh, she's broken up.
Am I back?
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, you did.
Back.
You're back now.
Yeah, we lost you for a second.
I'm sorry.
We lost you.
Okay.
That's all right.
Just
It's
add to
one
the
of those
pilot
kind of
track.
weeks. We're all.
Girl, no, we were just saying, trust us. We're all broke too. Don't think for a second that we got dollars.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to make it on one paycheck. It
this.
would be hard.
I'm only going to
We've committed.
Salem is the edge of my budget.
We have committed to this trip, come hell or high water, no matter what happens. So it's here.
That's right.
Because we can't live our lives any longer without seeing the lovely Vera in the flesh. Hey, V! How are you? What's going on in your world?
What's going on in my world? I don't know. It's the same stuff, different day.
Been looking at any good retirement homes lately, V, for somebody?
Luke is just poking fun of the fact that I told him that my mother has to be nice to me or I'm putting her in a home.
Katie Pines, Ma!
You are not being nice enough for me to change your adult diapers.
Oh my god. We're all going to hell, but at least we'll all be
No. I mean, for context, of anybody who hasn't heard me say this a million times, my mom is mentally ill. She is certifiably mentally ill. And loving her has been the greatest struggle of my life. So sometimes it's got to be tough love,
Every day you just got to keep chipping away.
Yep.
Right, Luke?
Christ. This hair's a bit much, isn't it?
Talk about loving somebody who's mentally ill.
Whoa! Vera taking Jeff's shtick today.
Pointing fun at your ex.
What can I talk about after that? What segue could I possibly? I can't match that. What's our catch line? I'm here. Look, I'm in that crazy last stage of trying to get everything done at the last minute. When I could have packed 3 days ago, but my suitcase is sitting right here in front of me, with a few things in it, no toiletries or nothing that I'm actually going to need. And I'm got to sort my dog out because my dog's getting looked after by a friend from work. So I've looked out at him today and I'm like, ugh, I'm going to have to bath you, aren't I? So that's going to be our bonding moment with him like clawing at me to escape, and it's going to be wonderful. We might even, that could be a TikTok.
I'll wait to remember him by before you leave.
Don't they make dry shampoo for doggies?
Oh, they do, but he needs a proper scrub because he's been like, it's been raining a lot here, so he's been like rolling in fucking filth. He's just awful. And speaking of dogs, Steve, how are you?
Oh.
I'm good. Every dog has its day, baby. It's all good. Every dog has its day, and I'm always here. Speaking of crazy, it's Ace. Hey, Ace.
We're just attacking everyone today, Ace.
He read himself.
Oh, you read yourself, girl. Oh,
yeah. That's what he said. Thank you for joining us on our Facebook hiatus, Ace. We appreciate it.
How is your parenting coming, Steve?
I started last night, actually. So I have begun. So it's
I'm really concerned about getting my fake tan done, like doing hair removal.
Process.
It's just gonna be just so full on, you know. But it needs to be done.
Planning to get laid while you're here?
I just don't like photos of me where I'm just looking all shit on a holiday. Like, oh, here I'm at Disneyland looking like I should be in a dumpster truck. Like, you know. I want to just look clean and fresh.
Well, you can do that while you're here, though, right? Like, do you have to do that before you leave?
I don't know why you wouldn't do it at Jeff's house.
Yeah. Get his bathroom real nice and dirty. Like, do the self-tan. Use like a white towel to clean yourself off. You know, just drive me nuts.
What are Jeff's white towels?
Just do it. Do it at the hotel. Do it at the hotel. It's not your...
Oh yeah, I could do it tomorrow night in Sydney.
Yeah.
No, I mean in when you get to California, because we're not.
Oh no! I want to be beautiful before then. Come on, please.
But we get there in the afternoon. We're not going.
Don't I have to be on camera in Salem and stuff? Maybe.
No, it's gonna be that guy has leg hair. Oh,
they will. I will. I'll be watching it going. Fix yourself up. You don't look right.
They probably have more leg hair than you.
Katrina's the only one who gets me. You gotta look right. Okay.
It's cold in New York. If you're coming to New York, it's gonna be cold.
It's
cold here.
Okay, well, I'm packing
it was chilly today, but it's cool.
It's sweater.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I packed a sweater. We'll buy some there and
sweater weather.
I'll get myself a hoodie.
I've packed a couple of hoodies. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
It's happening. But yeah, it's all happening. I've got to go to work, and then I've got to go to a birthday party, and then I've got tomorrow to just get everything finalized and packed and ready, and then off we pop. So you'll get updates, folks. This is the last live where we will be in different countries, and then we'll be all together. Brookie is absent today because she is flying out. She's gone. Her husband.
And I heard a rumor
to LA
that she wants to join the Mile High Club.
Good for her. Yeah.
I think that you're making that rumor
really
up.
I maybe actually, I better not make stuff up because she could be arrested and cuffed.
That's all right for skinny people, though. It's
Delta
not.
Airline is listening to us.
I was going to say, I don't know the logistics of it. I wouldn't be able to. Wouldn't be able to do it. Me, my husband,
know,
no
right?
way. No way.
Well,
when you get a
Brooke's next
size,
update from the detention centre.
Brooks in
Someone said I'm
Guantanamo.
fornicating.
We're married, I swear.
I swear. So whatever.
Well, Steve, are we ready for this week?
We are. Let's jump into this week.
Hot load of hot topics.
Ooh, that seemed awfully fast.
Shimmy.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on today. We're losing control. We're losing
Christina, do you ever
control
know
of
the
this
history
show.
behind why Katrina was doing that?
Yes,
No.
we've shared
I
this
don't know
stuff.
the history
Oh well, she
behind
knows
it.
it's Vera's voice.
I do know.
Oh, no. But why she's shimmying like that? She was showing us a move that you do. Whoa. You're receiving a hot load of hot topics.
Really?
This was on the show. I'm just like, whoa, girl. And it come out of nowhere, too. It was a hectic show, that one. She's like,
I didn't
guys, I
know
want to
there
show
was a
you a
movement.
move. I want to show you a move. And then she just
Oh,
did it. We're
dear.
like,
Oh dear.
that's our kitty.
Right.
It's a worry. This is why we get banned.
I
This
can't
is
believe
what-
it
But
wasn't
not
me,
for that.
I swear to God.
I can't believe it hasn't been sooner. Yes. All right.
I
All right.
cannot
Let's
believe
start
it
out
was-
with some political stuff because we love it. So the Donald has a lot to say about Joe Biden again this week. Here is Joe, and what do you like to call DeSantis, Vera?
Death Santis?
Yeah. So they
Or
are.
Rhonda
They are. Yes, Rhonda. There we go. I knew I was a female. They're on the ground in Florida, obviously checking out the aftermath of the
Now,
hot big
I have
blow
to
of air.
say, Jill's
Mhm.
outfit is, with those smart little short crop pants
Yeah.
and sensible shoes is quite nice.
Stylish.
Very
It's quite
stylish.
stylish. for
Imagine how you
disaster
feel
zone.
as the people of Florida, like your whole life completely destroyed, and then you've got all these people running around in expensive clothes. Like, oh, we're so sorry.
They are nearly as
Do you know what?
expensive as-
I would feel better. I would feel better that they are there as opposed to the man who is going to save America, who is nowhere to be seen with his millions of dollars that aren't helping these people.
Yeah, and he refused to give to any state that didn't vote for him.
There you go. So
And
you know,
California.
say
Their
savior
whole
of the
state
modern
nearly
world,
burned down, and he refused to give them federal aid.
right? So
Wow.
anyway, he has declared.
Bit
He
petty.
has declared this week,
Yeah.
in this week's Declaration of Madness, that the whole Mar-a-Lago raid was a hoax.
Oh my God! Then how can he be
It's a
persecuted
hoax.
if it
Right.
It's a hoax to let the cartels win. We're not raiding the cartels; they have their very own Mar-a-Lagos, but we're not. We're doing it to distract from.
Ugh.
All the
Cartels are
cocaine.
doing
Has
his
he-
bidding. For
Has he
fucking
been
sake.
sniffing something, or did they
His
like
own
do
tanner.
something to his
Is he
tan?
This man is the king of projection. Anything he accuses the other side of doing, he's already done. You cannot tell me, yes, I cannot prove it, but I know in my gut that the reason OPEC is suspending production and driving gas prices up before this election is to get Republicans in power so Donald Trump can get back there and make more money for them. This is all about the oligarchy. He projects what he's doing, and he is working with the cartel right now. The man is
And
fucking evil.
Can we just go to the Oxford
Sorry.
Dictionary definition of the word hoax? A noun, a humorous or malicious deception, or verb, to trick or deceive. When you actually have the files that you're not supposed to, how are you deceiving anyone? Or how is the country deceiving anyone, getting back things that you stole without people's knowledge?
And I know Americans don't read. I really do. But there's a book out this week by a New York Times reporter. He admitted to her after the election that he had these documents that he wasn't supposed to have. He told her he kept mementos.
Mementos that I can sell to Russia.
Yeah. This letter
Vladimir Putin
war.
at gmail.com.
Couldn't you have just had like couldn't you have just had like a little White House trinket or something? Maybe just not, heaps of classified documents.
Oh my
He
God.
kept these
But-
documents because he was using them as his insurance to get out of the country if he gets caught or to get back into
Right.
office so he can continue to do their bidding.
I wish he
He
had
is
done a runner.
corrupt.
Imagine him living
He's
in
such a
imagine him
grifter.
living in Russia now.
Oh,
It'd be
you know
gold.
what? He's so unproductive. If he lived in Russia, they'd be eating him.
Well, that's the thing. He wouldn't be able to eat his McDonald's.
Yeah.
He's
Like
screwed.
if he returns as president, let's just say if the worst of the worst happens, if he was
And
re-elected,
it's not outside the realm of possibility.
will Melania do a second season? Like,
I don't know.
because I feel like her contract's
Well,
up.
yes,
It's like
Peter.
Real Housewives of the White House, and so is she going to return to be the Donald's wife, or is he going to have a new co-star?
I think she'll
Eric
still be in the scene for like what she needs to be, like the good wife, but I don't
Yeah.
think she'll be there.
Maybe
She's
she'll
not
go into
decorating any
promotion.
trees. She's not
No.
decorating any White House. She's not doing that
And
shit.
yes, Peter, it sucks that Maggie sat on that, but she's not the only one. Everybody sat on shit until they got their book deal.
That's the way it
Sorry.
goes, isn't it? You've got to play your cards close to your chest, so you don't
Yeah.
lose your.
And just
power,
shred
I guess.
anything that's important.
He didn't shred it. He's keeping
Right.
it. You have to sell it. This
Right, as I'm
He's too proud of it.
Hey, so I'm sure there's
I
plenty
hope-
of places that will take you in Australia. It's a long
I might have
trip,
that
and you'll be
extra-
poor when you get here.
I might get that extra bedroom that Luke's talking about.
I've got a whole dual living. I've got kitchen.
Vera's gonna come over.
Oh, okay. Vera's coming.
important.
You got your own living
I'm gonna-
area. You got it all,
I
girl.
can
You've even got like a little back room all to yourself and your own bathroom.
Okay.
I'll
So
be
you're
there.
gonna get a pool.
In the wake of the hurricane, there's obviously widespread, spread destruction as is always expected, but there is some towns in Florida that have remained unscathed to a certain
Yes.
point, all because of
Mhm.
solar power, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Crazy.
And they have their own water recycling treatment, and they have an independent grid, and they have survived with relatively little damage.
Who knew
Insane.
that,
I can't remember the.
not
yeah, it's
poking the
amazing.
bear that is the environment would
Yeah.
work. Like looking after Mother Nature, and Mother Nature looks after you. It's like a
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
It's an equal relationship. But like
Well, I'm sure that those solar panels act as a wind shear and redirect wind and rain.
yeah,
You know?
it's the big fuck off spray for the hurricane. So bye now. You
Coming
gotta
for
go.
Fort Myers.
Yeah. That's horrible. Some of the video
It
you
is
see, it's
horrible.
just like
I don't
My,
make light of the suffering of the people in Florida. I really don't.
I have family down
I do.
there.
I do
did
make
they
light
get
of the
Sorry, Christina,
politicians
did
who
they
are
get out all right?
exploiting it.
everything?
They did, thank God. That like my cousin has a picture of like her lanai, like the water was like just up to the screen, and like they had to wait a couple of days to get down the street just to go check on my aunt, and my aunt's house had a bunch of flooding and leaks in the ceiling and this and that, and then turns out my uncle's parents, they're in their 90s, they left their trailer and it's like completely demolished, and they were in Venice, and my other cousin is in son of a bitch, Cape Coral. So it was really bad. And then they actually have 2 pizzerias down there too, and one of them was completely flooded. That was in Northport, and then the other one is in Venice, and it just got a little damage, but the one in Northport was completely basically washed away. So it's just tough because you can't be there. I can't go there. What am I going to do? I'm not going to paddle myself down the street to
And
go
what
see
can
her.
you do once you're there?
Exactly.
What can you
Once
do?
I'm there, what am I going to
Yeah.
do? And it just.
I just hope that after these disasters, the insurance companies actually step up and do what they're supposed to.
This is gonna kick you. The insurance companies are poised to go bankrupt because of legislation enacted by the Republican state legislature and Ron DeSantis that minimized the amount of coverage they could issue. And most of the Florida politicians voted to refuse federal aid in spite of the fact that they were guaranteed by President Biden full federal aid and full support from FEMA. They're grandstanding for their electorate because, we can't take anything from Brandon. We got to fuck Brandon, But these insurance companies in Florida are poised to go bankrupt because of legislation enacted by Ron DeSantis.
I do like the one word, the one like speech bubbly thing that's come out of Biden being down there. Have you heard that he got caught on camera saying nobody fucks with Biden?
Yeah.
That should be a new campaign. That should be a new campaign. So, like
the Biden that's surging in the popularity polls. I mean, yes, gas is going up. There's not a lot Biden's going to be able to do about it, but it's going up globally.
Yeah, it happened here.
Yeah. Like, get it?
Right.
I spent $2.99 the other day on a per gallon. Like, that to me was great. Like, I don't know.
If I could find it for $2.99, I'd be a happy girl.
Right? Like, I was like, fuck.
Fortunately for me, I'm not doing travel nursing anymore. I just commute a couple blocks to my job. So I don't need a lot of gas to get anywhere.
Right.
Except for Salem.
Hey, road trip.
But we're getting on the trolley there, remember? Clang, clang, clang with the trolley.
We should also mention that Jeffrey is not here because he is picking up his life and heading back to New York so that we have somewhere to stay. So that's why we have no Jeffrey Emmett today. He's
Thanks, Jeff.
Being very gracious host,
Yes.
and, making us feel home and lovely, and it's going to be lovely. A lovely moment for everyone. Right. A lovely moment for everyone that likes to upset conservatives this week. Lizzo. Lizzo played a very controversial flute this week from the I can't even look at the picture of Ben Shapiro. He makes me like, ugh. He's such a creepus. Now, V, do you want to explain for the Australian audience all about the significance of this flute and who owned it and da-da-da-da-da?
This flute was owned by James Madison. I think he was president number 4. I'm not 100 on that, but
correct. I will fact check you. Yes, correct.
He was a royalist at heart, but he also owned slaves.
Over 100 slaves, apparently.
Yes, he owned a lot of slaves, and he had several mistresses that were slaves. You can't really say they were mistresses if they're slaves.
No, handmaids.
Yeah, the flute was made of crystal. Now, I know when Kim Kardashian wore the dress, I was very adamant about the fact that the dress was part of our national legacy and should have been preserved. However, I will say this about Lizzo playing this flute. The flute, well, I'm not 100% for her taking it out of the archives to play. It was offered to her by somebody who had authority to do it and not me. It is a non-corrosive material. There's not any damage that she can do to crystal with the oils in her skin, unlike the dress that Kim Kardashian slapped her ass into and apparently ruined. But the right wing are losing their minds. They're saying she's doing this to shame Madison because it was a political stunt because he owned slaves. Everybody owned slaves at that time. Nobody was safe from slavery at that time. Even this part of the country that was the first to get rid of slavery had slaves at that time. You know?
Meanwhile,
2
weeks
like
ago,
all the old houses there have slave quarters, don't they?
Nobody knew this flute existed 2 weeks ago.
And again, nobody knew the flute existed. We did know about
or cared about it.
Cared about
it. And Lizzo, like it or not, is an accomplished flautist. She's a trained musician. So
The memes that come out are great though. There was one of Lizzo there with like the thing from Power Rangers summoning the Dragon Sword because he used to play like a little flute. So there was like her doing that, and so people have fun with it.
I particularly loved the meme about James Madison wore wigs and makeup and high heels and played the flute. Does the Republican Party realize he was a drag queen?
He's a big old queen. Hello, excuse me, my crystal flute. Hello. Hello. What do you? And I love it. I love it
from a friend.
I
Yeah.
know, a friend. I love that they're that Ben Shapiro. It's Ben Shapiro, right? Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's our
The guy who
Benz.
can't get his wife wet. Yeah.
Exactly.
The guy that can't get his wife wet is accusing Lizzo of doing things for attention. Right. Okay. Interesting. She's actually been invited to James Madison's house as well now.
Mhm.
Really?
After all of this, after all of this
Well, she has brought this
hullabaloozy.
renewed attention to the Madison family. Dolly
Right.
Madison
And
was one of the first bra burners. She was a pretty liberated woman. She, is famous for having saved the presidential portraits when the English raided Washington in 1812. She had pretty outspoken on a lot of issues. Dolly Madison was a suffragette. She was
And
mean to
obviously-
slaves, but hey.
the family are not one of those families that try and hide the fact that this is in their past and this is part of their history. Like we talk about on this show, you can't erase the parts of history that don't suit your modern narrative. They're like, okay, this is what happened. So Lizzo playing this flute and being invited to the house is something that is, I don't know.
That shows how far we've come.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
optics of it show that there's progression, that it's not,
And
so
to be
selective.
fair,
and-
did Lizzo ask anybody if he owned slaves? No, she just took it as an honor to be invited to use this instrument.
But everybody else
Exactly.
has to make it a black and white thing. That's what drives you nuts. It's like everything has to turn into a black and white thing, no matter what. Like
It doesn't, but it has. It's
everything.
outrage.
Especially this week, especially if you're Kanye West.
Oh,
Let's talk
Talk
about
about-
Kanye
oh my
at his latest little pop-up show for his Yeezus wear. Decided to don a White Lives Matter t-shirt with the Pope
right.
on the front of it. Also with, his
Candace
best mate
Owens.
and female
Doesn't it look
counterpart.
like my owl is sitting there
Candace
over the
Owens.
fence staring at Kanye?
It does. That's what Kanye's publicist is doing right now. What?
But look, I guess, but at this
he's-
stage, though, that he's just being a professional instigator. That's all.
Yeah,
You know,
he
that's all.
knows what he's doing.
He's a Katie Hopkins. He's a Candace Owens. He's just loves to get everyone all stirred up. And
He legit is way richer than Trump.
that's why Trump
Yeah.
wanted him in his pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he knows exactly what he's doing. If I don't know if anybody follows him on Instagram or if you know what he's been up to and whatever, but he was like going through a mental crisis on Instagram for like a week and a half.
He's lost the plot against Chloe about
Yeah.
the birthday parties. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the birthday
Someone
parties,
needs-
finding where the kids are. It's a pain in the ass. It was getting out of control. And now he's back. He's back again. And he had like another post up today, and it was like of a girl wearing a white dress that said "White Lives Matter" in black on it. And he had like another thing. He's like, "Oh, look who wore this dress," and he's just one of those guys. He needs the attention because people are not listening to his music right now. So let's get him back in the news. So let's put myself back in the spotlight and let me see if people think that my music is awesome because I'm going fucking crazy. So
Has
it's
he
just
made
one
any
of those
music
things.
lately? I don't,
yeah, I think he had one album come out because one of the songs was about
he
heat.
always manages to get like a hit to start with. and then-
Yeah, I don't know if it's like
Yeah.
an album or not, but it's definitely just like tracks that he just drops, and it's
Yeah.
like it's just one of those things. It's Kanye. It's just fucking
Right.
Kanye. Fucking Kanye.
Just let him go.
This is his reply on Twitter to some of the blowback. This is the day after he posted on Instagram. Oh, sorry, Instagram, not Twitter. Everyone knows that Black Lives Matter was a scam. Now it's over. You're welcome.
Because he's conflating the actual movement with the organization as well. Because I know there were some people that weren't happy the organization made certain people very wealthy. So
Did it?
you
I
know,
don't know if I know that.
well, that's what they allege. That it was all just this big hoax, that all these people became quite wealthy through the whole movement. So,
I
but
don't know that I believe that. We do
this
have
is what
laws in
Candace
this
and
country.
Kanye are saying. This is what
We
they're
do
saying.
have laws in this country that ban you from making money off not-for-profit organizations. That's why the Trump family cannot host a not-for-profit in New York State, because they violated the law and took money from a not-for-profit.
Right.
So I want to see their sources. They got to bring me some receipts before I believe.
That's why they're. That's why they're so closely aligned to Trump, right? The rules don't apply. Our rules is the way we say it. And he has been taken to. I've seen a video of him getting called out about being so out of touch for what it like Donald being so out of touch for what it is like for someone who has to live the everyday reality of what he preaches and stuff like that. It's affecting his sponsorship details too.
But wasn't he a boy who grew up in the suburbs? I mean, yes, I know he was the child of a single mom, but he didn't grow up in the projects. He didn't live in poverty.
So he's out of touch already, and now more so.
He never was touched.
The Adidas deal is under review apparently at the moment because of his controversial views. So watch this space as Kanye's mental state slips further and further into disrepute. We don't know what's going on. What a great segue. What's going on here?
I honest to God thought this was Siegfried and Roy.
I thought it was a Zoolander still, like the New Zoolander film.
It does.
Talk to me about Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke needs to put down the scalpel. That boy has had far too much surgery. He starts to look like that rich woman in New York who turned herself into a cat.
Jocelyn Wilderstein.
Yeah.
How's she going right now?
She's dead, babe.
Her 9 lives are done.
He looks like Ron Perlman in Beauty and the Beast, the TV show.
That looks really bad.
With Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, look at him.
Looks like Gary Busey and what's his name?
With the beast makeup, right?
He does look like Gary Busey, doesn't
he? He needs to be a Bond villain.
With lip filler. Gary Busey in drag.
He was a villain in one of the Iron Man movies.
Oh, he got to be a Bond villain now.
Iron Man 2, I think
he looks the whole part now.
Yeah, I think
and Melania needs to be a Bond girl.
It's just...
She's getting a little pinched in the face. Don't you think she shaved a little too much off her nose and her lips are just a little too...
Oh, she's got all that money she took, remember?
Should we talk about... Sometimes pinch faces let you have a comeback. Oh. Lindsay Lohan has been
she looks like hers is
freshly tucked and ready, and she's ready for a Christmas comeback on Netflix. This is the first in the deal, so... She's looking good. She's looking good.
Oh, well, it is a photo. It is a photo.
Nice. It's good Photoshop. Yeah, that's great.
How Joan would get a nip and a tuck, and it would take a couple weeks to relax, and then suddenly she'd look like herself, and then 8 months later she'd go back and she'd look a little alien. You know, you can't keep it in line.
She's co-starring with former Glee star Cord Overstreet in this movie. There's also a song coming as well. So she's multitasking. She's trying to get back into the zeitgeist.
Well, get it, Lindsay.
She and Cord together in a little duet.
Oh, that'd be cool. They can both sing. So that would be nice. Maybe that'd be a cute little moment. We do have to take a moment. Maybe. Romance and Christmas, I would imagine.
This little town.
And I love how Netflix is like, well, if we can't beat Hallmark, we'll definitely join them. It's happening. It's definitely happening. While we're talking music, we do have to acknowledge the loss of a legend this week.
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, the coal miner's daughter, Loretta Lynn, has passed away at age 90. But she was looking good for 90. She was.
Yeah, I'm
She's out
actually
there.
glad that you did this posting because the picture I had was not nearly as nice.
I had to find a nice one. I'm like, that's pretty.
Yeah,
She's
But
queen.
looks good.
yeah, Dolly had a lovely post of obviously calling her sister and all that kind of thing. It must be hard. Like, you've got to think about these music legends that are getting older and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
people
well,
like
Dolly
people
and
like
Raven
Dolly,
just moved up.
yeah, people like, but even people like Madonna, when Madonna won her award, she's like, Prince is dead, Michael Jackson's dead, like all of her contemporaries. All her contemporaries are like passing
gone.
on. So I
And
can
it
only
also
imagine
makes
how
us think
Dolly's
about our
was.
own mortality too. Like we grew
Yeah.
up with all of these people, and they're all going, and you always think them, well, I'm chugging along as well.
Just like the Queen. I was not
Sorry.
alive at any time when Loretta
She
Lynn
wasn't.
was
She
not
wasn't
the
exactly.
Queen of Country.
Yeah.
Mhm. Exactly. So speaking of mortality, let's go backwards to our youth, or some. Yeah, I think I was young enough. There is a documentary
I
coming
was an adult.
to Peacock, which is quite controversial. It's charting the rise and fall of Barney the Dinosaur. It is called I
What?
Love You, You Hate Me, Barney, the Untold Story. Now, for those of you that don't know Barney, you must have had your head in a hole in the ground in the 90s, in the late 90s, early 2000s. Barney started out as an idea for just a housewife. She created a character which led to a multi-million-dollar industry. Now, I didn't realize how bad the blowback was towards the end of the Barney the Dinosaur thing in the States. There were people like threatening her with like death threats and all this kind of thing, all because she'd made this character that had become all-encompassing and famous and, pop culture. It's amazing.
Well, there also was a little. I was an adult at the time. There was a controversy that the actor who played Barney was a person of color. That was part of that
So this documentary is not satire at all.
No, this is the
real.
real story of Barney.
Wow, who would have thought in 2022 we would have a deep dive into Barney the Dinosaur?
Because truth is stranger than fiction. Christina, go.
I grew up with Barney, okay? Like, Barney was my guy, all right? Like, I mean, I'm telling you, I was 13 still watching fucking Barney, like, being made fun of by my sister and my brother who were older than me. Why are you watching Barney? It's the baby show. I don't give a fuck, dude. I love Barney. Like, again, Barney was my shit. So, like, I didn't know the controversy at the time. I mean, shit, it's been, how many fucking years? Like, I don't even know about the controversy, so I can't wait to watch this. I have Peacock. I will give you guys my passwords if you don't fucking have it. And
It sounds really interesting.
This is off air combos, Christina.
I'm just
saying. Is that I did not think of putting on that purple suit and singing Mr. Paddywhack.
Right.
That and like the sister, if I can remember the sister's name too, he had like a baby. Fuck with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, once you get popular, you've got to create a whole family.
Yeah, like it's just.
And he had all the kids that were around him have grown up to be Disney kids, right?
Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato and
the boy. I can't think. Of
you know what band I wanted to be a Barney kid? Like I want. I'm telling you, it kills me. It kills me that anybody.
Such a contrast to like here, Steve, where we have like the Wiggles and Dorothy the Dinosaur. That like, even though like Australians like to make a bit of fun of it, but they've embraced it so much for their children. Like it's so weird that people would.
It's come to this turning point because the millennials are now child raising adults,
right?
Where we want to seek out things that gave us comfort as children. They are all in the zeitgeist again. Like the Wiggles. The original Wiggles lineups do over 18 shows at RSL clubs here, and they go off. Like they sell out So like 30-year-olds out there just jumping around singing Wiggles songs with
And
no
they
Are
ain't
kids
they
in
cheap.
teaching their
sight.
children?
Can I
No,
ask
no
like how
kids in sight.
Bluey? What about Bluey over there? Because like Bluey over here is like we want
Yeah,
more of it,
Bluey's.
and like I
Yeah,
just can't imagine what you guys are even doing over there because like Bluey must be huge over there. Like
Bluey blew up, and it was just another. It was a family in Brisbane that made the show, and it just
yeah.
blew up. Yeah, I think
But you
ABC,
can
like the
stop-
Australian Broadcasting, gave them the
even
start.
High Five are contemplating it now because they've seen the success that Wiggles have.
Somebody
So
made
they're
a
like,
Oh,
house that looks like
They're like,
Bluey over there. Somebody like recreated
yeah,
the house.
there is a
in Brisbane,
house.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and people
There
like
is
pay
a
to go and go and walk through it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go.
So we're gonna go from
We're
our
going over
childhood
there in a
to
couple
our
years, Christina. That's my plan. Is that
Our
not coming here
teenage
this year,
years.
but in a couple years we're going there.
Fuck yeah, I will
our
save up
teenage
for
years are
that.
getting
I
an
will.
update too.
I will. I'll do
Guys,
it.
American Pie's coming back.
That's awesome. I
With
mean,
the
I'm all for
original
it.
cast. The original
I
cast.
am
gotta love
actually really impressed that Tara Reid does not look scary there.
Wait,
She
can you
looks-
say
Have you-
Look
again?
at how fabulous Natasha
Of course.
Lyonne looks, man.
Yeah, man.
Yes, what happens when you give up heroin?
Oh, Tara Reid does look good. Okay. Yeah, Natasha does look great. She does.
Yeah.
I mean, they all
Natasha's
look
back
great.
on top with Russian Doll and everything now, though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she went through that patch and she's come good. But it'll be interesting
Which
to
is
see where they
great to
go.
see.
These guys would have teenage children now. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's going to
in their
be
world, so-
hilarious.
Spencer's mom is now somebody's grandma.
Yeah,
As
man.
long as Jennifer Coolidge comes back, I think we'll all be okay.
Oh, that'll be the tits, honestly.
So, there's also been, speaking of teenage years, especially Luke's and mine, because we're a little bit obsessed with it. We've had Emma Caulfield from Buffy the Vampire Slayer this week reveal that she too now has been diagnosed with MS.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
it's terrible.
So
Wow.
I don't know what is going on with these girls
It
that
suggests
were
like there's
in
some
Hollywood
sort of
in the late 90s
environmental-
and 2000s, but she's early on in her journey. She is the picture on the right was from her being in WandaVision. She's back in the news because she's just been confirmed as being cast in the Agatha Harkness spin-off show. So this is total Marvel geek stuff, but she'll be back in the she's part of the MCU, so she'll be back as her character, which is cool. Buffy fans love seeing her in the MCU, so she gets to do more. But she just said she woke up one day feeling like she had ants crawling all over her face, and then she couldn't move her face, the one side of her face, and then feeling came back, feeling left, and she's like, "Am I having a stroke?" And this was all happening while she was working. So she was on set. She went to work, went to the doctors, was waiting, and then got the diagnosis while she was on set. And she's like, "Whoa, what am I doing?" But
so many of the actresses of this age have been coming down with MS. It makes you wonder, is
I
it
know.
like some diet pill that they were taking, some soda
A
water
vaccine?
that they
Who
were all
knows?
drinking, some makeup that they were all using? What is going on?
Anything.
Yeah,
God.
it's just crazy. Like, so that's Selma Blair. That's who else was Christina Applegate?
Christina Applegate.
This is yep. Now Emma Caulfield. It's it's scary. It's very, very scary. But Selma is proving beautifully still. She's been dancing amazingly on Dancing with the Stars. Full splits and cartwheels and all that kind of shit. I'm like, you go, girl. She's been proving that, the invisible illness community can still create beautiful art and are managed and can live through pain and trauma and suffering. There's a lot of that in this week's news as well. We've had Hayden Panettiere break her silence about her whole drama with her child. This is kind of heartbreaking, I've got to say, for someone. She's an ex-Disney kid, and she's been through her struggles with substance abuse and mental health and alcoholism. But she was trying to do what was right for her child. She was like, I can't be a present and good mother if I'm blitzed. Like
Right.
she was
Yeah.
very, very honest, saying that she would sit on set, and if she didn't sip alcohol, she would be shaking. So like
Wow.
this all happened while she was doing Nashville.
Crazy.
It sounds
Yeah.
like the plot of Nashville, doesn't it?
It sounds like the plot of Nashville, but if
I think people forget though, a lot of these high-profile people are very quite stressed. There was that newsreader that said she would have to be half cut every time she would read the news at night until the point it just got to a problem where she actually looked drunk on air, and people noticed.
Yeah, this is part of the red table talk. Like she outlaid that she was 12 getting served alcohol, and no one even batted an eyelid. They gave her. Like old school Hollywood, like Judy behind Vera there. They gave her pep pills to keep her up and about when she's doing.
Brooke Shields talks about
promo.
About getting alcohol as a child. So does Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Like Hayden said, Hayden has said no one should there shouldn't be child stars. It is a horrible existence.
Yeah.
When people
why do these adults around these children think it's okay to give a child alcohol?
Oh, well, they're just, because they don't know how to deal with children. This is the thing.
They're predators.
They don't know how to deal with children. Yeah, they're opportunists and predators. But Hayden's daughter was basically, she had to sign away her parental rights. Her child now lives in the Ukraine.
Wow, that's sad.
She has no access to her. Contact is very limited. So it would be very easy, I could imagine, to just fall apart.
Yeah.
Is her baby daddy fighting for the Ukraine? He's of age, right? He would be drafted.
I think he is a celebrity.
Like, I don't know that the Ukrainian people are.
I think he might just have. He might have the money to maybe fund as opposed to fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But and we've seen it, many child stars would fall down the cracks and never be seen again. But Hayden, to her credit, is trying to get back to working.
She's doing the next Scream, isn't she?
Done Scream. Yep, she's committed herself to doing Scream. She's looking for other work, which is great. She's fantastic. To think that she was going through all that substance abuse stuff and drinking on the set of Nashville, where she delivered some amazing performances.
Yeah, she really did.
And her character, well, that's why her character was going through the same things. Yeah. Juliette Barnes, what a little bitch. Oh, what a little bitch.
That was one of my favorites.
I know. Have you seen the new Susan Sarandon's new show?
No.
Monarch?
No, and
it's very Nashville.
Sarandon, we're iffy.
Well, it's supposed to be kind of Naomi Judd-ish relation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it looks all right. We got, as I said, we got mamas in the news. Another mama who was on the Red Table Talk talking about her journey to motherhood is Kelly Osbourne. Now, Kelly has made the decision to not breastfeed her child because it would mean that she would have to come off her medication, which she is currently on, that helps her regulate her behaviors and steer away from substance abuse and alcohol and all that kind of thing. And she's actually been quite honest with how much criticism she's had, not only from the general public, but from the family, her own family, about making this decision to not breastfeed her child for her own well-being. I mean, surely in this day and age, what does it matter?
I mean,
you get some that carry on with this breast is best, which, you know what? Yeah, breast milk is wonderful and it is great for babies. But you know what? When the option is that when the baby needs just to be fed is best.
Right. Yeah. The doctor have made many doctors have made the decision to stop the mother from breastfeeding. You know, if the child is not thriving on breast milk, we can fix that. You know?
Yeah.
I breastfed my kids, and yes, I did not do it for a whole year like recommended by the government. My daughter, I stopped at 5 months. My son, I stopped at 6 months or 7, whatever. But you bet your ass there were days where I didn't fucking breastfeed because I wanted to have a cigarette or because I wanted to have a fucking drink, and that formula was a backup. And not only that, people donate breast milk because there are oversuppliers. So if she did want to give her kid some breast milk, she could go and get breast milk from whoever the fuck wanted to donate it to wherever the fuck you donate it to, and give it to the baby. She doesn't have the baby is not going to be stupid or any no learning disables or disabilities or anything like that just because the kid isn't getting tit milk. That to me, like, it drives me crazy because you always hear like these teachers that say, I can't tell who had formula or breast milk in this class, like, because it doesn't fucking matter. Like, what if it was an orphan? The orphan is getting breast milk. Formula.
Millions of children have been
millions
fed
formula
and
millions.
have been fine.
Like, just ridiculous.
Well,
there's no discrimination from a girl that does breastfeed.
It's just
There's no discrimination if you want to give your kid formula or if you want to give your kid breast milk. There's no difference to me.
It's just another way to tie women into this breeding cycle.
Yeah.
You know,
just like there's a difference between a C-section and a vaginal birth. Like, your child wasn't born because you had a C-section. No, my child was born. I had 2 C-sections, and I did go through birth, and I did go through all the healing. Just because my vagina was ripped open doesn't mean that I didn't birth my child.
Belly was.
Yeah, like that. Like, again, it's just it's a fake birth. Like, no, it's not. It's
fake outrage. It's manufactured outrage.
Yeah. It comes back to why are we still criticizing parents for doing what they feel is best for their children if it's not actually
because it's all this virtue signaling where people need to make themselves feel like, well, I'm doing this, so I'm better than you.
Right.
All right.
But
so let's
also that keep women tied to that birthing cycle model that is part of that Christo-fascist doctrine that's seeping through our culture.
And you know what? I looked after a newborn from day one, and guess what? I couldn't breastfeed.
Yeah.
She received breast milk for a couple of weeks, but then it was logistically impossible.
Yeah.
And she's fine. She's
absolutely
healthy.
fine.
She's brilliant.
She's thriving.
Both my niece and my nephew were not breastfed. They were formula fed. They are
the sign of a good parent is that you look after your child no matter what age they are and no matter what it means for you, because Angelina Jolie has stepped forward this week to finally put her voice to the allegations against Brad Pitt's conduct and abuse of not only her but the alleged abuse of their children.
You reckon he did it?
Well,
I think that there's people are always going to have a problem with her, no matter what she does, because she's
the home wrecker.
She's the home wrecker of Hollywood's golden couple. She's going to be the problem, but she's not doing this for herself, is what I'm saying.
She has been saying all along that there were these outbursts, and Brad has admitted that when he was drinking, he was not the best behaved. He has said that publicly, but I do find it problematic. Not that I don't believe her, but I find it problematic that this is now coming out because they're fighting over the winery in France, not because they're fighting over custody of the children.
Apparently, Vera, this has all only come to light this week because of the negotiations of the winery in France. This has come about because it's been discovered that he made her sign an NDA about this event that happened on the plane.
But we still knew about it. There was a lot of gossip about it.
The specifics, the actual, the actual,
Pax was a teenager, and I think he tweeted about it at the time.
Well, yeah, you can't control kids. That's the thing.
Yeah,
but for her, she hasn't been able to step forward and say anything until now.
This is known information. This is not new information to me. I remember the incident of the plane before they divorced.
Yeah. But the specifics weren't of public record and of an FBI investigation now.
Well,
so there you go, Jennifer Aniston. You dodged a bullet, honey.
Yeah, really.
The throwing of the liquor on the children is less than what we expected from the
apparently he struck one of them.
Apparently
he struck one of them.
That was what Max was was intimating was that children were struck at
Well,
the time. I mean,
you shouldn't be throwing alcohol at your children anyway,
no,
really,
you
should
shouldn't
you?
be. And he has admitted
Throwing your
his
wife up
things that
against,
he's
throwing
not
your
proud
wife
of,
into
though he
bathrooms and all
never
that kind of thing.
You can do
itemized
that to
them.
me.
Keep your hands to yourself, Brad.
I'm kidding.
I was going to say, Christine, the way he was
Saying
doing it, I don't
problematic.
think it was very fun.
No, I love it.
Chris, problematic.
I do believe her. He has admitted almost as much when he was going through his rediscovery of life that Brad Cooper helped him get sober, that he did things he wasn't proud of, and the son Pax did intimate that all this was going on at the time. This is not new news to me, though it seems to be new news to a lot of people.
Well, it seems
like
to be
I
new
said-
news to people that Whoopi Goldberg has put on weight because
I know,
Whoopi
Have you
is
not
copying
seen Whoopi
criticism
lately?
for wearing a fat suit in her new movie too. Now look at Whoopi. She's like, I'm fat. Like Whoopi has has an issue with her back. She had sciatic related problems, which has
Right.
caused her to, put on some weight. She's also had a problem with her knee.
You can't be
So
very
she has-
active when you're in pain.
She can't
can
be
you?
very active.
No,
That's exactly what it
becomes
is.
a vicious cycle. You can't exercise, so you gain more weight, but then the weight
Yeah.
exacerbates the pain. I lived through it. I feel for
So
her.
they are going after Whoopi because she's inappropriately putting on a fat suit. And she's like, baby, this is me.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I do not need to put on a fat suit to portray this role because this is my current reality. And it's just like,
Fucking
do you not
insulting.
have better
But yeah,
things? Do you
so
not have
insulting.
better things to criticize people about than like?
Fuck.
Like,
Right. Is
do
that
your
the worst thing
research.
about
Are they
her
going to come for
performance?
Gwyneth Paltrow in Shallow Hell? Like
They
what?
should.
Oh, that'll be that. You'll see.
They should. They should.
Well,
But
I didn't hate Gwyneth in Shallow Hell as much as I expected to. I
Well, let's-
I find this fat phobia a distraction. It's like they're trying to take away from the message that Till was
from the movie, yeah,
from the
it's
movie.
like
It's like Goldie.
an important movie. Like,
Yeah, Goldie
and the
wasn't
biggest
the
story you've
star.
got is she's fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you watch The View?
You know,
Newsflash,
racial
she's
racial
fat, too.
equality.
Yeah.
Racial equality.
Well,
But let's
fat
let's
shaming is
end
the
now.
last, bastion for the aggrieved.
Yeah, let's end our mother show on some fantastic news, some really good news. Hilary Swank is going to be a first-time mother to twins at 48 years old.
Good on you, girl.
God love her while
Mom.
working
Hey, Sonia
on a
Kruger
TV
did it
show.
here.
Yeah.
But
And
good,
looks amazing.
congratulations.
I don't think
Hillary?
we're going to be seeing Hillary in Cobra Kai if she's heavily pregnant with twins.
I don't think so. I think that there might be a little
Unless
bit of
she's
a-
already shot it. They could have shot it
She
a
can
long
afford a
time ago
nanny.
and are saving
She
it.
can afford a nanny. There's lots
Yeah,
of
but
women
is
who brought their
is she going to
kids
be
to
really
set.
wanting to fight after birthing twins?
You never know.
They
She's an
probably
actress.
put
They
her
do.
in shape to let her birth those twins.
Right.
I'm sure there was frozen eggs involved and lots of fertility treatments, but your uterus has to be in a certain shape to be able to bear children anyway.
Yeah, but
Vera's
40
always
years,
in a certain
yeah.
shape, aren't you, V? Vera's in a certain shape. She's
Round.
always ready to vent.
This
So, ladies
annoying
and gentlemen,
pantsuit.
we are going to move into your favorite part of the show. It's Vera Vents. Okay, V, here we go. 3, 2, 1, vent.
This is kind of a repeat vent. I did touch on this before. We are now in day 17, I believe, of the Iranian protests. Those of you who don't know, because the mainstream media is not talking about it as much as they should, a young Iranian girl was killed for improper wearing of the hijab, and it was just a small bit of hair that was exposed, and she was killed while in police custody. And the women of Iran and many, many, many young men have been protesting for days on end. And they are now going into the third week of protests. But this is part of a movement that I think we need to talk about. And it's a youth protest movement. There is a hashtag that is on Twitter and TikTok called FAAFO, and that stands for fuck around and find out. And these are young Gen Zs who are targeting politicians with social protest and cyber trolling. They are not stopping. They are showing up at city hall meetings with their little hashtag signs and trolling Republicans for their stances on anything from climate change to abortion rights to unemployment rights. They are organizers of Fridays for the Future, which is a climate change movement that has done lots of political events on Fridays and also has done tons of cyber activism. And there's a reason that this youth movement has arisen the way it has. These children, they're children to me, and they may not be children to themselves. Some of them are in their 20s, grew up with a specific set of problems. They know from grade school that the planet is on fire. They recognize the inherent problems with the system, that the planet and the system are broken. And they recognize that they are set to inherit all of these problems. And bottom line, they don't trust the government because their whole life, it's been old, out of touch white men who still think that we got lots of time to pollute the planet before we fuck it up. They are mostly female, and they are not limiting themselves to protests. They are entering the media like David Hogg of the Parkland survivors, or like Greta Thunberg and her climate warriorship, going to the UN and speaking against to anybody who will listen to them. They're going to Congress. They are getting kicked by Marjorie Taylor Greene because they're asking her important questions. And I think we need to take a minute to praise these youth and give them any support that they ask for, because they are our future and they're doing the shit that we got too complacent and too lazy to do. So good on you, kids. Keep it up. We're paying attention and we support you.
Well said, V. Very well said. You got to keep an eye on things because you never know when the past is going to come back to haunt you. But for Australian audiences and audiences that love Australian comedy, there is a breaking story. Our past is coming back to haunt us after 20 years, ladies and gentlemen. Kath and Kim are returning to the screens of Australian TV in a reunion special, apparently multiple parts, that is called Kath and Kim, Our Effluent Life. Now, it is going to premiere late next month, so it'll be in November at some time, and it's going to, I think sounds like it's going to be a bit of a mockumentary Where Are They Now moment for the characters of Kath and Kim. So if you were a fan of the Australian version of Kath and Kim, there is light on the horizon. But there is big lights on the horizon for us, because this time next week,
you'll be here.
We'll be with Vera.
Yay!
we'll be doing this. We'll be doing this shit show together. God help us all. It'll be very interesting to see how that goes. Thank you for tuning in via YouTube, and please make sure that you still like us and tune in and share and all that kind of thing. We've only got 23 more days until we can be back on Facebook. So until then, please make sure that you are, sharing the love with us. Make sure that you're listening as well. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Music, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on all of that good stuff. If you want to listen to us as an audio podcast, share the love, because we love doing it. So if we want you guys to, love it as well. And we want to find new people to love us, because we love us. We will thank you, Ace. We will have safe travels. It will be documented. There will be lots of content to show that we are on our way. There's going to be lots and lots of content. So we will see you stateside next week for Uncensored Radio. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yep.
We will see you then. Bye.
Our end
Yeah,
credit
okay.
music
I
is
had
dying.
to vamp because I couldn't find the end titles, right? There we go. But how